Rittenhouse has engaged in a new media tour in order to beg for cash. I talked about that. He's got a new fundraiser to pay for some of his legal bills. And so on Thursday, he went on Donald Trump Jr.'s podcast named Triggered. Because of course, right? And during that, he ended up putting his foot in his mouth. Take a look.
It was scary. I was up against these George Soros-funded prosecutors.
What was that? What was going on? Were these guys getting some sort of, back end donations? And I mean, the media obviously, and everyone else going after it, but
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. I don't know for 100% fact.
Yeah.
But I guarantee. I'm sure of it.
Yes, of course. I'm sure of it. George Soros, the favorite right-wing boogeyman. Now, look, does George Soros fund liberal causes? Yeah, sure. FEC records show that he does help the campaigns of Democrats. But guess what? He's not the only one. There's tons of wealthy people that make political donations all the time. Corporations. And by the way, corporations both donating to both Democrats and Republicans. I know, imagine that, buying both sides. And so, look, what this falls into is the old anti-Semitic tropes. Obviously, we all know that lobbying is a problem, that there are lots and lots of billionaires and millionaires that will pump money into our elections. By focusing, though, only on George Soros, they're doing, once again, the Jewish puppet master, sort of anti-Semitic conspiracy trope, which is, again, a classic one that right-wingers continue to bring back over and over and over again. So, look, the focus is on, again, George Soros, because it is that he's pulling the strings. And also, let me add into that they talk about both immigration, right, on the right wing, being funded by George Soros, and then efforts at doing gun control. So now the gun control thing, again, the anti-Semitic trope of the Jewish people running the world. And so, well, obviously you have to have your weapons to protect against that, the New World Order, the globalists, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So now, to Kyle Rittenhouse, I believe that he knows this conspiracy. I think that's why, in my estimation, and again, I'm gonna pull a Rittenhouse here and say, oh, well, I'm not 100% sure. But I think that might have been a moment of self-reflection with that partial backpedal. Oh no, I can guarantee it that it's George Soros-funded prosecutors. They're after me. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Oh, okay. So look, it's a dog whistle, and I think that's obvious. But he's also obviously bad at doing the right-wing dog whistles. So, like, for example, savvier right-wingers will go and say stuff like, and they'll be intentionally vague about it. Oh, you got the elites, you got the globalists. That's what's going on. The globalists, they're funding Democrats in order to water down the Second Amendment. That's how you do it. But this kid is not media savvy. He's like, oh, no, yeah, well, George Soros. By the way, the fact that the right, a lot of members of the right do say, oh, George Soros, also shows that they're not exactly savvy either. That, or they don't really care. They're just like, openly anti-Semitic, let's go. Crank it up to 9,000. Now, for Don Jr., no pushback at all. It's like, oh, is that what's going on? That's because Don Jr. is also a dumbass. Stupid. But look, here's the thing, though. In this case, there's no conspiracy theory. Okay? Look, the DA in the Rittenhouse case is a man named Mike Gravelli. And he had actually been, a DA of the year in 2021. He didn't preside over the case. Normally, they would preside over something that is pretty high profile as the Rittenhouse case, right? No, he handed it off to one of his ADAs, Thomas Binger, who blew the case immediately. So look, the real thing that happened is not George Soros-funded prosecutors. No, there was a lot of public pressure because of what had happened to, go in and adjudicate the case. Now, what happened is, or I should say, to make charges. But what happened is this idiot kid, Rittenhouse, decided to grab his gun and to, cosplay or LARP as a militiaman, got in way over his head, and 2 people are dead now. This would not have happened if he had stayed home and played Xbox. And trust me, we would all rather he had stayed home and not showed up. Now, this kid, of course, is a result of this celebrity in the right wing, who is now, unsurprisingly, spouting anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about George Soros-funded prosecutors. Because he either believes them, because he's been deeply influenced by the people that he's decided to hang out with, some of which might be literal white supremacists, or he's invoking Soros because he knows that chuds are going to throw money at him in order to help him with his legal bills. Again, for the fact that he didn't stay home and play Xbox like he should have. Either way, super gross, and I really, really wish that would have never had to have been subjected to Kyle Rittenhouse.